Ian has just given me my freshly branded Wahu helmet because why? Safety first. Oh, and it fits so comfortably. This thing fits nice. And listen, this is my first time riding an e-bike in my whole life. So I'm gonna ride off into the sunset. Ladies and gentlemen, I showed you in the intro this amazing company transforming the continent of Africa. And right now, I have the man himself, Mr. Ian, recruited all the way from Nairobi, Kenya, here in Ghana. He's the head of technologies for Wahu Mobility. He's gonna take us through this amazing company and how it's transforming lives all across the continent. Ian, thank you so much for being with me today.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Wahu Mobility. We are an ecosystem providing various services around e-mobility, from vehicles, which we will be focusing on today, insurance, which is more of a softer and intangible that you can't really see here today, gig work, which comes in the form of our partnerships with certain companies such as Bolt, Uber, Glovo, among others, and of course, all centered around our touch point, which is the customer.
So Ian, one of the first things where I really wanted to cover this story is because I've been in Ghana a very long time. Just from the little chat we have off camera, I mean, you've seen some of the beauty that we have on the continent. Yeah. Sometimes we don't focus on the innovative part, right? We focus on maybe what happened in the past, but we don't talk about what's happening right now and how it's transforming our future. Yeah. What I loved about Wahu Mobility is it's taking something that is a necessity and it's trying to produce it for people that may not have that access. So tell us about the beginning of the organization. What was the big idea behind Wahu Mobility?
Sure. So our CEO and co-founder, Valerie Labi, used to live and work in Tamale, which is in the north of Ghana. This was about 2 years ago, and she noticed that there was a big gap in the transportation sector there, which then spurred her to think, okay, how can we plug this transport issue, as well as empower the people there, economically free and socially, give them some kind of empowerment where they can say, I'm proud of working, I'm proud of what I do. And lastly, to give them freedom to move, which is one of our slogans. We're charged with freedom, so to charge the people with freedom. And what happened then was, over time, it started off with one mountain bike, which I'll show you later. Then moved to a few prototypes of product, which were electric bicycles, electric tricycles, all the way now, if you fast forward to where we are today. We're at the fourth iteration of products. As you can see, we're here in a manufacturing plant, and we've got more than 100 customers out on the road happily serving Wahu. So you can see the division is steadily growing over time.
So you have 100 customers that are out there happy serving the expansion of the business now. Is it in Ghana, or are you located in other places as well?
Primarily in Ghana is where I'd say 90% of our fleet is. We also have operations in Lome. We're exploring Southern Africa, for example, Zambia, and other territories where expansion may be friendly. So who knows? The sky is the limit for expansion and empowerment of our target markets.
So you talk about that target market.
Yes.
Who is that target market for Wahu Mobility?
So Wahu Mobility's target market, I would say, is think of a young person, fresh out of college or haven't gone to college, sadly, because of various constraints. And you have a yearning to work. You have a yearning to earn. But you can't, because the red tape behind certain jobs is just too thick, or you're finding it very hard to get a job without knowing so and so, as goes with most of African culture. This gives you basically a very easy way to access work and become a bankable person. So for example, we have customers who were once homeless and now have proudly rent a home, or some are working towards owning a home, and they have a steady stream of income. So there's a minimum threshold of guaranteed work with our bikes. Mind you, you also don't need that much to get a bike. You just need a guarantor, a simple know your customer process, KYC. And on top of that, there's minimal light. We train you, but you do not need like a driver's license to ride one of our bicycles. So I think that just helps in terms of serving this target market of the young Ghanaian, seeking or yearning to work.
All right, so we talked about how that target customer. One of the things I read about the organization that I really loved is hearing about how it's more than just a business on a mission for money, but it's a business on a mission for impact and transformation. One of them is transforming the ecosystem, right, and reducing like the carbon footprint. Tell me a little bit more about some of those other initiatives that makes Wahu Mobility not just another organization, but really an organization that's looking to transform the continent.
Right, so I think unlike many businesses which are focused mainly on the bottom line or profit and margin, Wahu focuses on impact on three fronts. There's impact from a talent side, which is internal to the business. We partner with local universities, local artisans, and just local skilled people, formally educated or not, who may contribute to our ecosystem. I'll show you downstairs as well that we have some bikes made with components made locally in Ghana by people who are not formally educated per se. And as you can see, we have products also made internally by people who've gone through engineering programs in Ghana. And then on the customer side, we also aim to make an impact in terms of the carbon we're mitigating in the transport sector in general. So we do not want to, if you look at the two-wheeler sector, for example, especially here in West Africa, majority of your two-wheelers are used. They've been beaten and battered, and they're not maintained properly. So the emissions as well, because of the cheap price, are quite high. The cheaper it is, it means the less you have to focus on emission standards. So the exhaust doesn't come NCAP rated. These are just plugged into a market, and the effect is greenhouse gases, which Wahu aims to mitigate. Another thing on the jobs perspective, and why I was hinting at the universities that we partnered with, local artisans, Wahu doesn't just want to be a business that churns out millions of bikes. That is our goal, hopefully in a certain time. But we also want to create jobs both for the customer to make sure, yes, they have a bike, yes, they subscribe to own that bike. But key to the question is, are they earning enough to sustain themselves? And case in point is, if you look at one of our customers here who we featured on our wall.
So these are real people.
These are real people.
Wow.
Who have Wahu bikes.
Wow.
We call them our Wahu heroes.
Wow.
And
Wahu.
yes.
Sorry.
So yeah, Wahu.
Wahu.
So if you look at him, he, for example, is a family man. He owns a Wahu bike. So there's him, there's his 3 children, his wife, all who depend on him for family upkeep. And what that means is, when you look at that now at scale, each Wahu bike could have 2 to 4 dependents. Now, if you say we want to have 2,000 bikes produced here by the end of the year, that's 8,000 lives, 10,000 lives we want to make an impact on and ensure that they have this umbrella of safety through employment and just through, that being bankable and having a sense of, let me say, pride in being a member of the Wahu community and community in Ghana in general.
So, right, as you just mentioned, it's more than an organization out for money. It's an organization that's on a mission. But what has been some of the feedback from your clientele?
So in general, customers have found the bike to be amazing. It's a great enabler of work, a great tool. And on Saturday and Sunday, people, apart from working, of course, they do enjoy just riding around Accra on it and taking in the sights. But with feedback on product, we've been taking this into consideration from customers and over time iterating the product over and over. So we've had probably 4 iterations of the product to get to where we are today. And to take you through in context, if you look here, this is a simple mountain bike with a battery mounted. This is the humble beginning of Wahu. Ignore the balloons, but this is the humble beginning of Wahu and where we started, I'd say. So this was Valerie and one of our colleagues, Quincy, who were up in Tamale and said, we need to electrify transport.
Wow.
So this is where they started. We also experimented with a few cargo bikes here and there.
Yeah.
And saw what the feedback was, and again, took that feedback. And then we iterated with local artisans. So these are fabricators and general artisans in the Kumasi and other areas in Ghana. So they built up the frames, the seats, and upholstery. And we have 2 members of our production team, Bright and Gabriel. They put together the bikes once we got the components. And this is another iteration. So long term, we'd want to source as many products and components from Ghana to make up our bikes. And that's what we've been exploring. It doesn't matter if you're established or an artisan, provided you give us quality. So this is one of the test pieces.
All right.
And then finally, right here is the model we've decided to scale with. And we aim to produce 2,000 of these by the end of 2024.
By the end of this year.
We'll then get to 4,000 per year by next year. And our aim is by 2030 to be doing 12,500 per year.
So one of the first things I noticed, I don't know a whole lot about biking, but I do know that at least aesthetically,
yes,
this doesn't look like your average bike.
No. So
talk us through it.
Exactly. I'll take you through step by step. So we took customer feedback. Initially, you'd see the mountain bike there only had one battery. Many bikes, they only had one battery. But with these, we give 2 batteries, and they pop off just like that. You can charge it at any power point you may need. It's not that heavy.
It's really not, yeah.
But yeah, it charges wherever there's a power supply, similar to charging your phone. And we give 2 of those. Each battery would give you a range of 70 kilometers.
70?
Yes.
Wow.
So in total, you get 140 kilometers per day of riding distance.
Wow.
You'd also notice the tires are not your usual tires. Bike tires tend to be a bit thinner, isn't it?
This is like you come from business.
Yes.
This is not, it's not a small thing.
Exactly. So these are both puncture proof, and because of the wide profile, they give more of a grip surface on the road.
Yeah.
So you're less likely to slip or have any issues. You can also see that there's double suspension, front and rear.
This is like a real African bike.
Exactly.
That's made for Africa.
So if I'm carrying precious cargo, somebody's cake.
Yes.
On this bike, I'm stable.
But we know some people, they'll put their goats on the back of this thing.
Yes. And the motor is also equally powerful. It takes you up to, we've limited the speed to 32 kilometers per hour.
Wow.
But the torque is quite high. And what that means is you can carry quite a lot, go up a hill with no issues. Mobile phone holder for the gig worker, because that's the primary thing they'll be using to navigate orders, take new orders. And yeah, it's quite a simple. If you run out of charge, unfortunately, there's also your typical bicycle gears. We have a 7-speed Shimano system.
Wow.
And then for safety, I'll just demonstrate that. We've got lighting. This is 1 for visibility, and 2 just to ensure you can see the road ahead.
Wow.
Nights. So time of day is not a limit when it comes to delivery on a Wahu bike.
Oh, so this right here is what now? I'm sorry.
This is our display, and it typically shows you charge, mileage, speed, and your pedal assist mode.
Wow.
When I say pedal assist, you'll find out because I'll insist that you ride the bike.
Definitely.
When you're at pedal assist 1, the bike feels lighter. So the motor's job is to...
I get you.
When you get to pedal assist 5, you'll barely be pedaling. It'll be like you're floating on a cloud and the cloud is just taking you away.
Got you.
The bike also has a throttle. So you see, it can throttle itself. Because let's say you're on a hill or traffic lights and somebody's hooting at you to go. Use the throttle to give you a kickstart and then you start pedaling.
I see.
So those are the kinds of things we've incorporated into the bike. And all this came from feedback. So I'm in traffic lights, how do I get ahead? Or there's someone who keeps hooting at me, can you guys add something? And over time, that's how we've been incorporating features whilst optimizing costs. So we do not want the bike to exceed a certain cost, and we don't want to transfer a high cost to the customer ultimately. You want to lower the cost.
So now that you're talking about not transferring a high cost to customers and making sure they get the best product for the best price.
Yes.
Price point.
Price point for this bike, we do a subscribe to one model as mentioned. And the customer has 2 options. You can pay 300 Ghana cedis for every week for 24 months to own this bike. So it's a subscription, but at the end of the 24 months, we hand you the bike. And mind you, these components, I wouldn't say they're over-engineered, but you'll have peace of mind.
I'm telling you, the way, even from hearing the story, I've been in Ghana a long time. I'm not an engineer.
Yeah.
I don't work in technology, but I can tell you that one of the biggest issues is quality products.
Yeah.
And from the intentionality of the design to having someone like you that's the head of technologies and making sure that the bikes have gone through these reiterations based on customer feedback, based on precision design, you can see that this company is really well suited to meet the demand in the marketplace for this context.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
Precisely. So at that price point of 300 cedis a week, if you want to get a bit faster or subscribe on a shorter term, we do 18 months at 400 cedis, and our commercial team is working on a few better packages. On top of that, we offer subscription to maintenance packages, such as unlimited brake pads, checkups are always free. We have a network of third-party maintenance partners, so our customers do not always have to come here. They can go, they're spread all over our crowd. We have about 10 right now, of people we've trained, and they fix electric bicycles. So that just helps offload and empower more people within the ecosystem. You also get, of course, access to our app, and that means access to work through our partners that are in the ride-hailing and gig economy business. Lastly, I think the best part of being an owner of a Wahu bike is being part of the Wahu Hero community. This is a very empowering community. They have each other's back. For example, once we had a member of our community whose bike was stolen, and we didn't call police. We did not call any authorities.
Everybody got together and beat the guy that
Shot
stole
the
the
text.
No, I'm just kidding.
He just shot a text on the group, and within about 1 hour, because his app showed him where his bike was, other customers rallied together, found the thief, found the bike.
We won't say what happened. We won't say what happened to the thief.
Yeah, no, not for camera, but
Not for camera.
but long story short,
He won't steal again. Let's say that.
so yeah, the thief was in jail, and the bike was back with the customer all in a span of hours.
Wow.
Wow, and this was community driven. It was a weekend, so we were now just only realizing, okay, so this happened. But you see, this is the kind of powerful community we try to foster here. And this is only with just over 100 people. By the end of this year, it'll be thousands of people. By the end of 2030, we'll have hundreds of thousands, and so on and so forth.
Wow. Ian, this is so inspirational. I think I'm so inspired that I think I want to get a bike. Should I buy a bike for somebody? I'm going to be on their subscription plan because I ain't got money like that. But I'm thinking about, Ian, should I sponsor a bike for somebody in need?
By all means, I mean, sponsor 3, sponsor 4, sponsor 10.
I don't know about 10. Hey, listen.
It's $80 a month.
Listen, if I get some people there with me that want to sponsor a bike, I can sponsor a bike. And if I got like 5 or 10 other people that want to sponsor a bike, about $80, $90 a month.
Yes.
And then we will make sure that we qualify folks and it goes to the most needed individuals that are vetted. But if I get about 5 or 7 people, put it in the comments. If you want to sponsor a bike with me, we will make sure that these people go through a vetted process, and we will show you the whole process of making sure that those people get those bikes. If you're with me, I got one. If you got one, we can do it together.
Of course. Now the last part is, of course, you have to ride the bike and tell me.
All right.
I don't like telling you how the bike is. I'd rather you told me.
All right.
As I said, feedback is key.
Now, you sure these are durable? Because I may mess this up, man.
No. These are durable. Let me get you a helmet.
Okay, let me get a helmet. So listen, Ian has just given me my freshly branded Wahu helmet because why? Safety first. Oh, and it fits so comfortably. This thing fits nice. And listen, this is my first time riding an e-bike in my whole life. So I'm gonna ride off into the sunset. If you like this video, make sure you, listen, you know what I'm trying to say. I can't focus. Like the video, subscribe. Until next time, peace.